Hello and welcome back to the Freedom Network. My name is Troy Colmer and our mission here is to teach you how to be self-empowered and to become limitless. I've got my good mate here again, Craig Harris. How you going, Craig?
Good, mate. Thanks for having me.
Oh, good. And this is our third podcast. Mate, I tell you what, we're cracking those views in. We're up to 6.
That's what we like to hear. We'll get to double digits soon.
So we actually had a few downloads, believe it or not, on the podcast app.
Oh, nice one.
Yeah, we're in nearly double digits.
Oh, well. Rome wasn't built in a day, mate.
It's pretty funny, isn't it?
We'll get there.
It's certainly a journey.
Yeah.
So in today's podcast, this will be our third podcast on manifesting. And the reason that we are doing this is because we want you to understand that manifesting is very real, like very real. And so we're running you through like all our life experiences so far to realize that it doesn't matter if you are manifesting it on purpose or unknowingly. That's right, isn't it? Unknowingly manifesting. Because somebody else or social media or the mainstream media, all these things, they can manifest your life for you if you don't take control of your mind. And so the idea of this 3-part series is for you to understand that you are already a very powerful person. You are very powerful. And you have all the tools that you need to become a powerful manifester. And so it's just to realize that you already have all these tools, like you already have them. It's just that we haven't been taught them. And that the reason that we've said in like the other podcasts is they put you into the slave system because the end goal for us humans is to become taxpayers and to be controlled. And so they don't want you to learn these secrets and how the universe really works. But the good news is, the Freedom Network is about giving you all the tools to understand how it actually works and for you to become limitless. That's a pretty strong word, that isn't it? Limitless.
It is. Yep.
We don't want to be limited anymore, do we?
Limited is a very bad word.
Limitless. And so today I was thinking that we're going to a couple more stories. We've got that many stories about manifesting. And so a few years back, our little chihuahua, she was about like, she was tiny. She just fit in the palm of your hand nearly. She was that little. And we'd just moved to a new property, and there was a gap under the fence, which I did have timber under there, and I'd forgotten that it was there. I'd forgotten that I hadn't put the timber back under the fence to stop her from getting out. And we'd gone out this night, and we got home. It was like, I think it was like 8 o'clock at night, and it was dark. And so we would call the dogs and no Remy. And then everyone's hit panic stations. And I'd been practicing this manifesting thing for a little while. And so in my mind, I thought, well, I'm going to put it to the real test. And so you got to remember, so it's pitch black, and where we live sort of like on a main road, and it's like two double lane roads out the front, and then comes off another street off the side there. And so what I did, I just manifested in my mind, like I did a really strong manifest and a visualization, all the tools that you need and you already have, that we would find her and she would be home with us.
So this is why everybody's panicking and running
by
around
the end of the
trying
night
to find her.
Yeah, so everyone's panicking, and I said no, and so I did the manifestation, and then I just stayed home. I didn't even look for her, and I said right, because I have to believe it. Like if it works, like you have to believe it.
Yeah.
So it was either going to work or it wasn't going to work. And
well, that's the thing. You can't put a negative connotation on it because then it will just.
So I just totally believed this manifest that I'd created, and so I just went about fixing up the bottom of the gates and things, and
while everybody's running around looking for it.
Yeah, everyone's running around like headless crooks, and Kerry's driving up and down the streets, and Sarah, and I don't know, I think Mitchell's there, and Shawnee, And anyway, got to like 9 o'clock, and everyone's crying because they can't find the dog. And so I went, oh, wow, maybe this isn't going to be good. So I was right at the end, and Sean just said, he's my younger son. He said, I'm just going to go across to the other side of the street, which is 4 lanes of road, like it's quite busy. And then through another set of lights, there's another 4 lanes, and then down, like up over a hill and down the other side to where these houses were.
Yeah.
He goes, I'm just going to walk over there, and you never know. She's like, you've got a picture, she's as big as a rat.
Yeah.
Tiny.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he's gone across the road and down about probably 200 or 300 metres, and just calling out, Remy, Remy, Remy. And next thing, she runs out of this house up the side. Oh man, couldn't believe it. And he walks back home, and and we still got little Ram today.
Yeah.
And man, I was just like that just sealed the deal for me for manifesting.
Yeah.
Because
you had full confidence in it.
Mate, I didn't even second guess it.
Yeah.
Like in my mind, I just said, well, this thing's real. Like manifesting's very real. And everything's manifested so far that I've been doing. And I just thought, well, I wonder, I didn't even actually question that it wasn't going to work.
Yeah.
I just pictured that we'd have it by the end of the night.
So even though it wasn't you going down there looking for her, you sort of manifested Shawnee to go down there.
Well, I didn't. See, this is the thing. There's a trick to it. Well, it's not a trick, but you can't, with manifesting, you can't presume the outcome. Like, say for instance, we're in Sydney and you're going to Brisbane and you're driving by car, and you put you open up your Google Maps and you put your destination in, and then you press directions, and then it takes you on that route. But so you sort of know that you're going to get there. Well, you don't even know. You assume that you're going to get there. Like you have full confidence that you're going to get there.
Yeah.
And it says there, like, say it's an 8-hour trip from that trip's about 8 hours drive or something. And you see the 8 at the time, because everything has a time element. And so you have full confidence that you're going to get there in that amount of time, give or take a little bit. But you don't know. Like, how do you know if there's going to be roadworks, if there's going to be redirections, if the car's going to break down, if there's going to be run out of petrol, like anything could happen.
Yeah, yeah.
And so this is the exact same thing when you want to manifest something. You don't worry about how you're going to get there. You don't worry about how it's going to come to you. And so the idea is, what you do, you manifest the future, because what happens is the future's always coming towards you. Like, you've got to think, like, it's always now, like everything's now. So if we say, in 5 minutes time, that's the future's 5 minutes future, say. But as the clocks tick, we never leave the now. Like, the now is stationary. And the future comes past us. Right. So the future comes past us. So that's the now is always stationary. And then as the future's coming towards us, so we don't really know what that's going to be. So we just have a full belief, because we've manifested and created it into a future reality. So that future reality then comes towards us.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the things you have to do, is you don't even think about how it's going to happen. You don't think about it, and you don't worry about that. All you do is just create the outcome, but then you still have to do the journey towards it. So if we go back to the Sydney to Brisbane, you can't go put Sydney to Brisbane and then go to Melbourne.
Yeah,
like
you got to head in
the right direction. So so you still got to do action towards it. So you got to go towards to where you're going.
Yeah.
But you don't worry about it. So going back to Remy and the dog. So I didn't say how. Oh, Sean, I manifest Sean.
Yeah, to go down.
I didn't say Sean's going to walk across the road, and then he's got to go down, 10 houses or something.
Yeah.
And then he's going to walk along, and then he's going to call out, Remy, Remy, Remy.
Yeah.
And then the dog's going to walk out. You
You just manifested the outcome.
Just the outcome.
Yeah.
And simple outcome. Like,
Yeah.
And then the other thing is when you want to manifest something, we have all the tools of, so there's visualization, so you've got to visualize it to see yourself in the outcome. But then there's also an emotional event that you have to attach to it as well to make it stronger. So the feeling. So you've got to feel, say for me, for the Remy thing, right? So I visualized it, that I was holding her. So that was number one. Number two, I felt it.
Yeah.
I felt how happy I was.
Yeah.
Like nearly to the point of crying.
Yeah.
How happy I was that Remy was in my arms.
Yeah.
Because the little bugger got out and run down the road, and I was so excited to have her back.
Yeah.
And so you do that, and then the time limit, we don't know the time. And so I used to, what we're told on how to manifest things is to put time limits on it, and but I don't think that's right. I don't think that the time thing's right. I think what you should say is as soon as possible.
Right.
So then that allows the universe to align all the bits and pieces as quick as it can do it.
Yeah, and for when you're ready as well.
Yeah, and for when you're ready. And because what can happen is the time you're restraining the universe because that might not fit into what it can do.
Right. Or what you're ready for.
Yeah. So when you do the manifestation, you always say as quick as possible. And then there's one more trick, one more thing that you have to do, and that is to let it go. Like totally let it go. And what that does, so it's like on your computer. So imagine on your computer, you get Google up on your computer, and you press type in on your keyboard. Say we go back to the destination where we're going, so we type it all in. But unless we press enter, that's not going to give us an answer.
Right. It's not going to set your course.
Yeah. And so we have to do the same thing. But our enter key is to forget about it. And so I'll give you a perfect example of.
Got an example of everything.
Yeah. So when you're, because it happened to us today. So when we were talking, we were saying about the 3-letter words. Yeah, remember that?
Yeah.
I was saying about the 3-letter words, and he said, "What's that called?" And he's asking me, really? I'm a guy that spent my whole high school years outside of my English classroom because I was disruptive. And so he said, "What's that called when the 3-letter words again?"
Well, it's not just 3-letter words; it's when you just break something down into letters, isn't it? That represents that.
Yes, Craig. That's what it's called. Yes, Master Craig.
Well, we couldn't think of it, and I actually said, it'll come to me later.
Yeah.
So I put it out there.
Yeah. And how long ago? It was about 10 minutes.
I think it might have been pushing 20.
Yeah.
And I just went, boom, acronym.
Yeah.
And we went, there you go.
Yeah. And I went, huh?
But we put it out there.
Yeah.
And she came back.
So this is what I'm saying is that's how it works. So you've got to totally forget about it. And it's the same thing as like, say you're talking to someone and you've got that person in your mind, and you can see the person and you can't remember their name.
Yeah.
You go, oh God, what's that person's name again? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then you'll be driving somewhere or you'll be doing something or in the shower or whatever, and you go, bang, and it automatically comes in because you've totally forgot about it.
Yeah.
Like you've totally let it go.
And you're open to receiving that information.
Well, you've already asked the universe for the name because you're already thinking about it.
Yeah.
So what's happened is you're thinking about it. You want to know that you've said, oh God, what's that person's name? So you've already created the reality into the future that you want that to come to you.
Right.
So you've already created it. Like it's all there. So you have to remember it's creating all the time. Like the manifestation within the complex or whatever you want to call it, in the matrix or, it's creating all the time. Like it's always been created. That's what we keep saying, whether you like it or you don't like it, or you believe it or you don't believe it, doesn't matter. It's always been created. And so you've put that into the universe to say that you've asked for the name. So I'm talking to you and I say, say Johnny or something like that. Oh God, what's his name? And then, so I've asked the universe for
The name.
unknowingly. Like I'm
Yeah.
just thinking in my mind, I just can't remember, but you've actually put it out into the universe to say what the name is. And then because it's got to go through all your folders to find it, you know?
Yeah.
Because your folders might be all mixed up.
Yeah.
And or your connections aren't there.
Yeah.
And so, and that's why when you're totally, and it's usually, like, especially when you're driving, because your brain waves are lower right down. It's like a meditative state when you drive.
Right.
Or when you're in the shower, especially. Like a lot of people get a lot of ideas in the shower because with the water,
Right.
the warm water, your brain waves come all the way down.
Yeah.
And so what that does is that allows you to connect to the universe, to better.
Right.
Yeah. And
So it's like when you have a sleepless night or whatever, and everything's churning over in your head, and you're coming up with all these ideas why you should be sleeping, but then when you wake up in the morning, it's all gone. You can't recall it. But then during the day, it all seems to just unfold for you, all the answers, like that acronym when we were searching for that word.
The acro what?
Yeah, but like the more we tried to think about it, the more it was disappearing or wasn't coming. Yeah. But it's like you say, as soon
because we were going, oh God, what's that thing? Oh yeah, what's that called again?
And we were getting nothing back.
No, we said, we just let it go.
Just let it go. Well, I think we just started looking out to sea. We were looking for whales or whatever at the time, and boom, it came straight into my head as soon as I had let it go and not.
And we got all excited.
And we did get excited because that was another little win, which is what you got to get. You got to grab those little wins as you go and build a bit of momentum up, and that's when you get, like we were saying, you get a bit of confidence in yourself, and from there you realise how limitless you are, and off you go. Limitless,
what a great word, isn't it? I love that word. It's like the total opposite to limit, to
limited.
Be limited, isn't it?
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
You know, because that's what we're taught.
Yeah.
That's what we're taught at school.
Yeah. Well, we're taught somebody else's beliefs, aren't we?
Yeah.
So, like you say, you just then carry on with those beliefs as what you think is your own.
Yeah.
But it's the same when we bring our kids up, isn't it? At the time, we teach them what we know at the time.
We're installing all our beliefs into their folders.
And then later on, if our beliefs change along the way and we look at them, what they say, that was what we used to be. And you go, sometimes that can be a good thing, sometimes it can be a bit of a shock, can't it? So
when you're looking at yourself in the mirror at a young age, you go, oh my God, I can't believe I used to be like that.
But that all comes down with experience and that as you go, isn't it? And confidence and being aware what you can manifest.
Yeah.
Because like you say, always say, you're doing it whether you like it or not. So why, if you can do it, why not make it your own instead of somebody else's?
Why not?
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
This is the thing that gets me with, like when I first started, I've said it before, when I first started discovering all this stuff, I, in my brain, thought that if I just start telling people that this is what you do and this is how you do it, people go, oh wow, how do you, and want to know. And say, oh, what, you can heal yourself with this and that. You do it that quick. Yeah, if all you have to do is this, and this, give them all the steps. No. What, do you have a ticket?
Yeah.
Have you got a ticket for that?
Have you been to uni for that?
Have you been, I'm going, mate.
Yeah.
You're not going to learn this from a ticket at school. This is, this is how the universe works. It was just, it still amazes me how hard, we have to sell it to people to say, because the thing is, they're using it. The FEB, they're using.
Oh, absolutely.
They're using it because they know.
They know how strong it is.
They know how it works. They know how the whole system works.
Yeah.
And they're in control of the whole system.
Yeah. And
so, if you don't start to understand that you are being controlled, you're just going to end up.
Yeah, you're just going to end up being under their control.
Yeah.
And that's what I always thought, like when we were growing up and we were told that we had to buy a house and all that. Come on, it's the great Australian dream.
Yeah.
But that's not my dream is. But because you didn't fit into that mould, you look as though you're a bit of an outsider.
Yeah.
Because you didn't fit the general consensus.
Yeah, and because they know that how it works. So then once the seed starts, then this apple seed must turn into the apple tree. Must. And so they install all these beliefs into you, and then they must grow unless you change it, unless you physically change that belief.
Yeah. Well, you're going to turn into exactly what they want you to turn into.
Yeah.
And they're not going to share it round. They don't want. They've already They've already got their club.
No
it's
way.
Like us. Like if we get good waves in a spot, we don't go around telling everybody.
Yeah.
Like that's why they call it a secret spot.
Yeah.
Because it's a secret.
Yeah. And you would tell them misinformation to make sure that they don't go to that spot.
You don't want them there.
No way.
You want it to yourself. That's like we have it nearly every weekend when we go to our secret spot. It's not like we go tell everybody else, oh, wow.
Yeah.
You should come up here.
Yeah. Come up here where there's no people and there's heaps of waves.
Yeah. We go, oh, no, it's just average up there.
Yeah, it's no good there. You won't be able to get anything.
Yeah.
You're better off just down there a bit. That's where all the good surf is.
Where all the good surfers are. That's what you do. Go to where all they are. Yeah. So it's exactly the same thing.
They're on a world scale though.
Oh, yeah. They're not just talking about a few waves.
Yeah, but you're exactly right. They're doing it on the global scale the exact same thing we're doing on our
tiny little
surfing
count.
scale. Yeah.
Yeah. So they don't want people in that club. They don't want you realising how good you can be and what your potential is.
Yeah.
So why would they want that when they can have it all to themselves?
Yeah, I never really, that's such a good thing to say because I never really thought about, because now in my mind I'm thinking about, how we love the waves by ourselves, and then we don't have to worry about everybody else we don't have to worry about competing.
Yeah.
For the waves.
Yeah. To us, that isn't what it's about. We're about getting out there, having a nice time, getting as many waves as we can, and enjoying that nice, quiet, peaceful environment, which is what it is always about. It used to be like when I went surfing as a kid, there was hardly anybody surfing, especially in winter.
Yeah.
But now, wow, everybody's out.
But if we use that train of thought, and we don't, we'll do anything to protect that.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's just for us, for the waves, and because we love it, and because we love the feeling of it. And so if you, I never really thought about it. And so they're thinking the same thing.
Absolutely. But they're, like you say, on a grander scale and with a lot more to lose.
The whole 7 billion people.
Yeah, exactly. Imagine if everybody got onto that club.
Yeah, imagine if 7 billion people knew how the universe worked.
Yeah, or what their potential actually was.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have people starving in Africa and...
Well, everyone would just be like gangbusters, and they'd have zero control over anything.
Yeah, it'd just be...
And then...
everybody would be the same.
And we'd opt out of their system. Imagine that the sick care system would go from a multi-trillion dollars down to maybe $1 billion.
Yeah.
Because we still need it.
Yeah.
We still 100% need it because there are things that the sick care system's really good for.
Yeah.
But 90% we don't.
Yeah.
90%'s just made up to make because they're making all this money. So, I didn't... Yeah, because in my mind, I couldn't really work it out why. And people always say, why would they do that? But that's the exact reason.
It's the exact reason, exactly. So
it's the exact reason.
Glad I came along today, eh?
Okay. Mr. Co-host.
I might just...
Maybe I'll be the co-host.
Maybe. We'll try that next podcast.
Hello, welcome to the Freedom Network. My name's Craig Harris. Here's my co-host, Troy Colmer.
Got a good turn. We're heading
Well, there's no I in team. Yeah, and that's such a good analogy of that. And because why would they want to share it?
Huh.
But we don't care now, do we?
No.
We want to share. We want a piece of their action.
Yeah. Well, we're going to create our own action, really.
Yeah.
We don't have to affect them. We can just go along and they won't even know who we are.
Yeah.
They don't even need to because they're too busy sorting out their own stuff and they think everybody else is complying to what they're doing.
Yeah.
But if we just work in the shadows and do our own thing, and there's nothing to stop us from having a manifest.
But this conversation was, we're going to do this at our next podcast.
Okay.
So we have, but that's I'm so glad you brought that up. But we will continue that into our next podcast because we need to keep going on our manifesting journey because this one's about manifesting. But you know how we go.
We do get a bit off tangent.
We go off on a tangent. Because
that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's just how we are. So getting back to the manifesting, I just want to give you all the information so that you can do it. But there is another thing. there's always bits and pieces, because you have to remember life is a circle. And so if you miss one little bit of the circle, then what do you got? You just got a line.
Yeah.
So if you miss one little bit, there's no circle. Just one little stroke. One cut. Get the scissor, cut the lot thing. There's no
flow.
There's no flow. So you have to have all the information.
It's like when you're watching something on YouTube, there's always something that gets missed.
Always.
And they're making it look so easy, whatever it is you're
this is why the journey's taken 8 years.
Yeah, because we've always missed out on something.
Well, nobody wants to tell you exactly what we're just saying about the people at the top, but it's every level.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Everybody's got their own level of it.
Yeah, because they don't want you to take their spot, because that's how they're making their income.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But that's for the next podcast.
Yeah, it's for the next podcast. But the Freedom Network, we're about self-empowerment and limitless.
To everybody.
And so our idea is that we give you all the information, and we hope that you will just stay part of the community because being part of something. But in reality, I want you to become fully self-empowered and limitless like yourself, so that you don't need me or you.
No,
we don't need. I want to give you every single bit of information. I want to give you the whole circle.
Yeah. Once you realise what you're capable of, mate, they won't look back to us.
Yeah.
They'll be on their own journey.
But it does feel good to be part of a community.
Oh, for sure. You can always come back.
And it's about up leveling, because like if an athlete wants to get better, they have to be around other athletes that are better than them.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because they can't, otherwise you can't improve.
Yeah, well, that's why things always work better when you have a training partner. You're always accountable to somebody.
Yeah.
And you're always pushing. Well, it's like.
But even a training partner, do you think, is still not as good as being? That's why you need to go to competitions.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's.
Yeah. Yeah. There's no participation awards.
Yeah. Yeah.
You soon realise that when you get put out into the real world.
Yeah, but more what I was thinking of. I know what you're saying about you definitely need a coach or a trainer.
Yeah.
Because you need the skill set.
Yeah.
But once you learn it, so the trainer or the coach has taught you all the skill set, but then you have to go and compete.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. It was like how we were talking before during the week. We were talking about 75 hard and how you do programs like that, and then you always revert back to your default.
Yeah.
But of course, you're going to revert back to your default, but at least you've learnt along the way it's pushed you to be what you're capable of, so you can realise that, hey, I can go down that road. It's made you aware. It's like like you were saying about the yo-yo diets, they never really work, but to the average person that doesn't look outside the box, they don't work. But if you did look outside the box and you go, oh, wow, I lost all that weight, why don't I revisit that and go back down that road?
Yeah.
But most people, with the way they think...
Because it's unknowingly, though. This is the thing. You don't know that you're being... because you've got to remember the default program. That's a program running the program. And so we have a thing called free will. And the free will can't run all the time. It can't, because it takes too much power. Like, it takes a lot of mental strength to use your free will at all times.
Right.
So that's why 75 hard is so hard, because you have to use your free will every day for 75 days.
Yeah.
Because your default mode is bringing you back to your default.
Right.
So it's wanting to come back, 75 days, come back.
Yeah.
And so, but you're using your free will to override your default mode.
Right. And so that's why it's sort of a relief when you finish, even though you realised your potential and you want to continue on, but you don't have that ongoing pressure of, I have to drink my 4 litres, or I have to do my book, or whatever, without a consequence.
Yeah.
Because the consequence is sort of scaring you. You could get to 50 days and you miss one thing, and all of a sudden you've got to start again. And that like you did, you forgot your photo twice, but you had...
unknowingly on purpose.
Unknowingly on purpose, but you just slipped up. But And it was like you struggled those last 20 days because I was finished.
Yeah.
And even though I continued doing it, but I didn't have that pressure on me where you still did. If you missed up again,
Yeah.
you were going back to the beginning again.
Yeah.
But really, we're still doing it.
Yeah.
Not to that extreme that we were.
But running off our default now.
But it's an enhanced default, don't you think?
Yeah, I think it is too, because we were talking about it before, and it does open up more folders. So you get your filing system. So you've got your default filing system, and you put another file in there. So now you've got your 75 hard file.
Yeah.
So now you can access that file as well.
Right. So it's like you got a whole bunch of experiences that you can fall back to. You can call back on if you need it.
Yeah.
Because you've gone through that experience and you've realised what you can do.
Yeah, but you've got to remember that the stronger, the filing system is gauged by your emotional attachment to it. That's sort of what brings up the default closer. You know, like the files are close. So you're going to use that default first, then that one, then that one, then that one, that one. And so 75 hard stuff's like right at the back there.
Right.
And even though but you have opened up that door. So now, for instance, say for like the reading part, and because I'm a slow reader, and like I'll read a page and then I go, God, I wasn't concentrating, I wasn't thinking about it. Then I have to go reread it because as I'm reading, I'm thinking of something else.
Yeah. You
and I'm not
distracted.
I'm not focusing. That's why it's so good to learn to read, properly read and comprehend.
Yeah.
Is because it gets you used to focusing.
Yeah. Which helps with your manifestation.
Yeah, and that's from the 75 hard.
Yeah.
And so you're exactly right. So that folder now is calling me to say, because I did it for that long, I say, well, you did it for 75, why can't you keep going, Troy?
Yeah.
Why can't you keep doing it?
Yeah. And that might, like we were saying before, like how you had to do the extra 20 odd days on top of me.
Yeah.
Because you weren't ready at 75 days.
No, because I did it relatively not too hard.
Right.
It was a bit hard because we had a few hard days in there, but I wouldn't say it was extremely hard.
No.
But let me tell you, those extra, 19 days or something?
Yeah, it was nearly 20 days.
Yeah, that was very, very hard. Every single day, I didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
Every single day.
Oh, I remember on the phone every day.
Yeah, I wanted to give in. I wanted to chop that off.
But then how good did it feel when you did finish it?
Yeah.
And what you'd accomplished along the way. But I suppose we got a bit off the manifestation track.
Yeah, we're back. Next, I was talking about the manifesting, giving you all the how we get off track so easily.
Easily.
So this is we apologise again. That's what Sarah, my daughter, she said, "Oh, your podcast is really good, but you do get off track a lot."
We do get off track a lot.
So thank you, Sarah, and I've got you in my mind thinking, Troy, get back on track. Troy, get back on track.
Take the words of your daughter on board, mate.
Yeah. Oh, she's a powerful lady too. And so getting back to the manifestation, that's right, and the circle. So life is a circle, and you need to have all the information for the circle. And so for manifesting, we need visualization. So you need to be able to visualize it. So that's a learnt skill as well, because unless you are a good visualizer, you need to be able to visualize it first. And then
with visualization, that comes hand in hand with like imagination, you reckon?
Imagination. Yep, same thing. Yep.
So you've got to virtually imagine yourself.
Imagine yourself.
Yeah.
That's another word for it.
Imagine, visualize yourself in whatever you want to create, whether it's your
whatever
position in life or whatever.
Yeah, so going back to the Remy thing, I just imagined me holding Remy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the end.
Yeah, that's the end.
Yeah, and everything else, like you said, you didn't go through it, didn't manifest it step by step. You just manifested the end situation.
Yeah.
Bang, everything go, and then you let it go, and then everything just processed through to that outcome.
The outcome. And then we've got visualization or imagination. Those two things. That's the first thing you need to do. The second thing you need to do, you need to attach an emotional feeling to it. So the stronger the feeling, say for instance, for weight, say it was a weight thing, you have to see yourself at that size, whatever it is. Say for me, like I did the 19% or 20, I'm at 19% now, but 20% body fat. So I visualised myself I visualised seeing looking at my app, because it has like a line in it, and it says my weight, my percentage is 20%, under 20. So I visualise, and it's got like the graph. You can imagine a graph, and the graph line is under.
Yeah.
So I visualised that it coming down and just going across underneath the 20%. So I visualised it.
Yeah.
And I imagined it, same thing. So I did that first. And then the second thing I did, I felt how good it feels. So I imagined myself looking strong and healthy, and how good it feels to be at under 20% body fat.
Yeah.
Like how good it feels.
Yeah, yeah.
Like how good it feels to be that. This is how you got to say it.
Yeah.
How good it feels at 20. Oh man, this is fantastic.
This is the best I've ever felt.
Oh, it is unbelievable how good I feel at under 20% body fat. Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And so that's what you got to do. So that sort of feeling.
Yeah.
So then the feeling. And then the third thing is, you need to let it go.
Yeah.
You need to just have the full belief that that's it. You are now the apple seed. The apple seed needs to turn into the apple tree.
Yeah.
So you just let that. The third thing is you just let that go and say that I am now under 20% body fat. For me, say for that, even though I wasn't. Even though you're not at that time, but you don't worry about that.
Yeah, yeah, because you've set it in stone, really.
It's the same thing. You're going Sydney to Brisbane.
Yeah.
You don't worry about it. You know that you're going to be in Brisbane in 8 hours, say.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you know it. So you don't worry about it. You just go, yep. Even though I'm in Sydney.
Yeah.
So you don't go, oh no, I'm in Sydney. No, I'm never getting to Brisbane. Oh, no. No, you just go, yeah, in 8 hours. In 8 hours, I'll be there.
Yeah.
So the future's coming towards you like that.
Yeah.
The future's coming towards you. And then, so 3, say you let it go. And number 4 is you have to have action towards it. So you have to have action towards it.
Yeah, like you were saying, if you're going to Brizzy, you don't head to Melbourne.
Yeah, and you've got to drive.
Yeah.
You've got to get in your car and actually get driving.
Yeah.
And follow the directions as they're coming.
Yeah.
And so that's the other thing you need to do is you need the action. So for me, I had to make sure I kept doing my walking or exercise, and then to eat lean to get down to this percent, because that's part of the action. Because this is what you need to do. Because in your mind you're going, what do you need to do that? But then once you're there, like you're there, I don't even worry about it anymore.
Yeah,
like now, if I went and hopped on the thing now, I'm under 20%.
Yeah, yeah.
I have been for weeks. And so it doesn't, once you're there because what happens is when you start to eat a bit of rubbish, like you will do it, but then you automatically stop.
Right.
Like you will stop, and then you will think, oh,
yeah.
if I start to do that, like it's in your mind. You just go then, because you know you're under 20%.
Yeah.
You think, so you just don't do it. Like you just think, like maybe eat more lean or something. Like it seems to be an automatic thing. Like it's just automatic.
Yeah. So is that because you've created a new default?
Yeah, it's a new default.
Yeah.
It's a brand new default.
Yeah. So manifestation, when you're manifesting things, you're actually recreating your defaults?
Yes. Yeah, upgrading, I call it.
Upgrading your default.
Upgrading your default.
Right. Yeah.
It's like your phone, you know. You say if your phone is not the same as your default, mate, like if you press default on your phone, everything gets wiped off. Everything. So it goes back to default.
Right, yeah.
But
factory settings.
Factory settings. That's the default, phone default.
Yeah.
And so you put all the apps and all the things loaded on. That's the same as us. We load.
So that's upgrading.
Upgrading.
Because you're styling it to what you want.
Yeah, but sometimes you get an app that you don't want, you've got to delete it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there is one more thing, the number 5 thing, is that there's an energy field around us, and you can't manifest more than you are. Like you can't manifest more than you are. You can only manifest, like to default it, you can only default that mode like who you are. So you have to upgrade your default through a physical rewiring of your mind.
Yeah. Right.
And that's like, it's bigger than, I can't really explain it to you, like it's bigger than the podcast. That's what the 21-day thing is that we're doing through the Freedom Network. But once you do you have to do it through an energy setting. So you reset the energy. This is not for the REMI thing, it wasn't. But this is if you want to change your default mode for your personal body.
Right.
So for your personal body, you actually need to upgrade your default. You need to upgrade. You need to install another app or delete an app.
So how do you do that?
Well, you do that through balances and intentions and you've got to do a special rewiring for your body. But it takes that takes a bit of time. Once you understand how to do it, it doesn't take that long to do it.
But you're going to have all that on the website anyway, aren't you?
Yeah, that's through the Freedom Network side of it. But I'm just saying that to the manifesting thing, to change your default mode, there's I haven't seen any other thing that you can do is other than you have to do a physical rewire of your mind. That's the only way you can do it to change your default mode.
Yeah.
And say for instance, your phobia that you had of knives. Like that's your default, right? So that was your default mode. And so when you seen a knife, so you come towards the knife, and then it starts to turn on. Your default mode starts to turn on and go, hang on, Craig, get back. That's dangerous. Oh, don't go near it. Don't go near it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so the closer you get, the further you get.
Yeah.
But we did the
balance.
We did the rewire.
Yeah.
So we rewired the mind to delete that app. So we deleted that app from your default mode.
Yeah. And it was pretty easy, wasn't it, when we did it?
Yeah, it's quick and easy.
Quick and easy.
Yeah. And so for things like that, they're very easy to, but we had to do a physical rewire, didn't we?
Yeah, yeah. It was like you say, a proper balance.
Yeah.
That you'd showed me and then demonstrated on me.
Yeah.
Mate, it hasn't been a problem since.
Yeah. And so, but that's what I'm saying. So you have to do, to upgrade. So what I'm getting at is that you can't manifest more than you are. You can't manifest more than you are. So you need to physically upgrade your being and your belief system to manifest in a new reality for yourself.
Right.
Yeah. But there are two types of manifesting. So the one manifesting is for your own self and own body. And so that's all for your default mode and like all your apps and all the things that are running in the background for you to operate as a person. But the other manifesting is things like for Remy, say.
Right.
And to manifest in, like I talked about when we went to South Africa. And
the room upgrades.
And the room upgrades and all that. For doing things like that, you don't need to
do your defaults.
You don't need to worry about the default mode for all those things.
Yeah.
So for that sort of thing to manifest.
Yeah.
For things like that, you don't need it to manifest because all you need is those other four things.
Yeah.
You need to visualize. You need to feeling, put emotion into it. You need to let it go, and then you need to create the action plan.
Yeah.
So you only need those four things.
Yeah.
So for Remy, those four things, we had all those four things.
Yeah.
So for that to work.
Yeah.
And so for manifesting things like that, that's all you need.
So when you break it down, it really is pretty simple, isn't it?
It's very simple.
And that's probably the biggest, like when you talk to people about it, it's just...
Yeah. But they need to start practicing. Yeah. And so remember how we started our manifesting journey, and anyone can do this, is through the car spots.
Yeah, that was the car fairies.
The car fairies, as Mum says. And so you just do the exact same the four things that we just said.
Yeah.
So
before you leave home, you can visualise it, that it's going to be there waiting for you.
Yeah.
We used to call it you book an inner spot, didn't we?
You booked the spot in.
Yeah.
And so you visualise it. So you visualise the spot whereabouts it is. And a lot of times you'll get the exact spot. But what I started doing was asked for the closest. So then it made it easier for the universe.
Right. So it had a few options.
I had a couple of options because it's going, Troy, geez.
Yeah, it's a big ask.
It's a big ask, I don't know if we can't get that exact spot every time.
Yeah. And there's probably other people out there manifesting the same
so I'm up against them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I always say the closest to the door if I want to go. So say I'm going to the shops or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I just see myself driving through and pulling around, and someone will be either pulling out or there'll be a spot there.
Yeah.
And so that's as soon as I drive in, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for someone that's pulling out but every now and then I have to do a lap.
Right.
But very rare. I go, oh God, what's going on here? I start getting upset with myself. What's going on here?
Yeah.
But so rightio, Troy. All you need to do is a lap. So I come around, do one lap, and then
it's there.
Sure enough, someone's pulling out. I go, thank you, universe.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot.
Oh, so you got to have your gratitude.
I forgot the gratitude. Yeah. That was lucky. Like the universe just reminded me that gratitude is very important.
So where does the gratitude come in
at the last?
End? Yeah.
The end. Sorry. So there's actually 5 things.
Right.
Sorry. Thank you. Thank you, universe. I'm looking up, but what
it put us
I don't know why
down
I'm
that
looking
road,
up.
didn't it? Like really, I suppose.
I forgot about the gratitude part.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so every time that you manifest something, and every time you've personally manifested something, always say thank you. You might say something else, but we just say thank you, universe, because we're not religious or anything like that. And because everything's just a program. And I think what that does, it seals in the manifest into your default for later, maybe. Right. Do you think?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. But I know that you definitely have to have gratitude to say thank you for that to come into being. And then they go, no worries, and we look forward to assisting you in the next one. Yeah. That's how it sort of feels.
Right.
Yeah, so we've to go back to Remy thing. I was that excited, and I give her a cuddle and that, and your little girl, and she, and I was so thankful to the universe, so thankful, nearly to the point of tears in your eyes that you're so thankful. Yeah. And then the universe just keeps. Then the universe just keeps giving.
Yeah, because it knows that you're grateful and appreciative of what's going down. Yeah. And the path that you.
Yeah, and I don't know. Maybe that's part of the program. Maybe the program doesn't work unless you do that. Right. So, because everything's just a program, but that might be part of the program.
Yeah, that might be part of hit and enter.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm part of the filing system, so it gets to be filed away because otherwise it just sits there.
Yeah, that's the last.
And it doesn't allow for the next manifest. Maybe I don't know. Yeah, maybe we can't know for sure. Yeah, but all I know is that.
Well, it's probably just part of the feeling, isn't it? It's like when you let somebody into traffic and they acknowledge what you did for them. Everybody feels cool, but
if they don't acknowledge,
you. Wow. But it's not a good feeling, is it?
No.
So, and then he continues on his way because he felt good because he appreciated you, and you feel good because he appreciated you. Yeah. Yeah.
That's the exact same thing.
Yeah. So it's all a good feeling, but then if it doesn't go down, then you lower your standards down to what that type of person is. And it sort of, it's with you for the whole day sort of thing.
Yeah. And that's a good analogy. And then you might not let the next person in.
Yeah. But then,
But it could be. Like if you say you had 3 or 4 in a row that didn't acknowledge. Yeah. And they've just come in arrogantly.
And with no appreciation.
And we go, nah, screw them. I'm not doing that again.
Yeah. So then that creates where we are in the world, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's what creates it.
That's what we're trying to change.
That's what we are changing. Yeah. Not trying.
Sorry.
Wrong wording, Craig.
Wrong wording. I'll take that slap on the wrist.
Wording is very important.
Words are strong.
Wording is very important. Yeah, so there's actually those 5 things. And so if you write those 5 things down, and if you start to practice those 5 things, your manifesting journey is going to go on steroids.
Oh, you'll be on the next level.
So that's the full circle.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that you did remember the gratitude part, because otherwise we wouldn't have had the full circle. So that's the full circle to manifest something like a car spot. Oh, so we didn't finish the car spot. So you drive in, you picture yourself driving in, and then you feel yourself in the spot, and then you let that spot go. And then when you're driving to the shop centre, you You just know that it's going to be happening.
Well,
You don't
even
second
think
quick.
about
You don't think. You can't. The other thing with it, you can't double think it and go, oh no, this doesn't work. This is not going to work. And it may take a couple of times for your manifesting to start working, because you need to build it like a skill.
Yeah, you need to perfect it a
Yeah,
bit.
and so when you're doing it, you just not assume.
Well, you just accept that that's going to be a done deal.
Yeah, it's just like you don't. There's no other option. There's no other option than that happening. Like you don't even think of it in your mind. I'm just going to the shops and I'm going to get the same spot. And yeah. Anyway, so that's sort of how manifesting works, and we'd really like to thank you for being on our journey. We've got another. If you can go back and watch the other 2 podcasts, this is just only watch this one, so there's 3 in this series. Also, we're going to be doing 2 or 3 podcasts a week if you would like to come onto that journey. I'm also doing Troy's Live for 5 on Facebook, and if you want to join that. And I've also pinned
Love Troy's Live for 5.
because our idea is that we want for you to become self-empowered and limitless. By the end of this year, you are going to be that powerful. It's going to be incredible. And I've also, on Facebook, I've pinned our virtues and our missions that I did on the last week. So that's up the top. And then if you go to the Freedom Network, I've also going to show you how to, this is all for free. I've also got how to rewire for you to become this powerful person that you are going to be by the end of the year. So that like we're saying about the reprogramming, I've put that inside the Freedom Network. So well, thanks a lot, and thanks, Craig, for today. And
no worries. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm really loving this journey that we're going on.
It's good to share it with everybody.
Yeah, and so don't forget, life is a circle, and become limitless, self-empowered, and limitless. And we'll see you in the next one. Thanks very much.
See you later.